fantastic tool and resource to help you master any topic in the STEM field. My name is Alex, and today I will be helping you through a real-life scenario algebra problem. All right, let's get started. So as you can see, here's our problem. The gas mileage M in milgal of a car is modeled by M equals N divided by G, where N is the number of miles driven and G is the number of gallons of gas used. And as you can see, we have two parts to this problem, part A and part B. Let's start with part A. Okay, part A. The best way to start when given a word problem is to highlight or underline the most important variables and information. So A, find the gas mileage M for a car that drove 240 miles on 8 gallons of gas. So already we have three variables that stand out to us. We have M, I'm going to write it here. We have M, we have N, and we have G. And we can see this from up top right here. The gas mileage M in milgal of a car is modeled by M equals N divided by G, where N, see, it already tells us what N is. N is the number of miles driven, and G is the number of gallons of gas used. So from this information, we can tell that M equals the gas mileage, which I will abbreviate GM. N equals the number of miles driven. So I'm just going to write miles driven. And G, you can guess, that is the number of gallons of gas used. So I'm just going to write G of U. So that way you can tell that it's gallons of gas used. Now that we've labeled these, we can also note that we can take out of this problem an equation, and the equation was actually given to us. Do you know what the equation is? The equation is right here when it says modeled by M equals N divided by G. So let's write that down. We'll write it right here. So M equals N divided by G. I'm sorry, this looks like a W. Let me fix that. All right. Now that we have all the key parts of the problem highlighted and underlined, let's break it down. So ask yourself, what are we trying to find? What we are trying to find out is gas mileage, which we know is represented by the variable M. So if you forget, we have it right here. I'll do it in blue. We have gas mileage. And in the problem, in part A, we can see find the gas mileage M. Okay. In the problem, we already know our N and G variables. N, in red, N equals 240. And in blue, G is 8. So let's substitute our variables for numbers. Our formula should now look like this. So now we should have M equals 240, which is our N, divided by G, which is 8. Now it's a simple division problem. What is 240 divided by 8? Solve that, and you have your answer for gas mileage. Super simple, right? All right, let's go to part B now. Part B. So, what do we need to find out? Ask yourself, I need to find out how many gallons of gas was used. If you thought that, then you'd be correct, and you already have your variables labeled from the last problem. So M, we know is gas mileage. N, we know is number of miles driven. So I'll say number miles driven. And G, you know what G is. G is the number of gallons used by the car. So I'm just going to say gal used. All right. Now that we reiterated our variables, now we can solve this problem. So what is our M and what is our equation? So we know that the M, our gas mileage, equals 25. And we know this because of up here. It's in our problem. And what is our miles driven? We know that our miles driven is 175. So we need to find G. So the formula that we need to solve this problem is similar to what we used in part A. This equation right here, we're going to take this and use it in part B. So let me rewrite that equation. M equals N divided by G. So we know that in this problem we need to solve for G. So what we're going to do is swap the M and the G variables so we have a new equation. So our equation will now look like this. And I'll do it in red. Our equation will now equal G equals N divided by M. This is our new equation. And we change the equation because now we're finding gallons of gas used. So that's our G. And now what we have to do is substitute our letters for numbers. So then our equation will look like G equals 175 divided by 25. And we know this because M equals 25, which we have here, and N equals 175. So now it's a simple division problem like last time. So all you have to do is 175 divided by 25, and then you have your G. I hope this helped. Thanks.